definitely getting plenty of gardening ideas. Daybreak is the perfect time to capture the natural world's essential beauty. And in her new and second book, Gardens at First Light, photographer Stacy Bass shares images from some of the most beautiful gardens in the country as the sun is coming up. Stacy, welcome to CT Style. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. So nice to be here.
So how did you get interested in photography to begin with?
Oh, that's a broad question. I was actually interested in photography growing up. My father was a photographer, but really an amateur and a collector of photography equipment. So I think I got interested more in the equipment before actually taking pictures. How I became a garden photographer was sort of...
That was my next question.
Yeah, it's really kind of by accident. When I set out to become a photographer professionally about 12 years ago, I set up a website and I sent it out into the world, and luckily an art director happened upon the website and sent me a note saying that she thought I had some talent and she would be interested in hiring me one day, but she didn't have an assignment. And as it turned out, 6 months later, she hired me to shoot a garden, and I had never shot a garden before. So it was sort of something I wasn't expecting to fall in love with, but even on that very first shoot, I really did. I had such a strong reaction to it that I haven't stopped since.
2 books later, how is this one different from the first one?
Well, the first book, which was called In the Garden, came out in 2012, and it featured 18 gardens, all very different. And interestingly, while it sold very well and had a lot of critical acclaim, there were a few people whose voices I heard who said, you know, for people who are real diehard gardeners, it left me wanting more information about how to do what I was seeing, not just beautiful pictures. So this time we've actually added a garden reference guide, which I think will be incredibly helpful to people who really are serious gardeners. Where for each of the 12 gardens featured in this book, we did 12 instead of 18 so we could be more in depth in each one. We have a page in the back in the garden reference guide where we have hand-drawn sketches done by a man named Jim Garrity, who has now given us perspective of where the images that you're seeing fall.
And how to kind of put it together.
Exactly,
That's
how it
fantastic.
all falls together. As well as arrows which indicate where I was standing and what I saw in those exact moments so that people can kind of connect that to the images in the rest of the chapter.
Sure. In fact, we have some pictures from the book we could put up on the screen. And they're just spectacular.
Thank you.
I got to ask you, what made you decide to shoot these gardens at daybreak?
Well, interestingly, I think there's a misconception that when you want to shoot anything, you need bright light. With respect to gardens in particular, when you're shooting large expanses of land sometimes, big shadows that you would have at noon really don't work. You want to have even, soft, nice light. And so the light at dawn is sort of more controllable. And I think I discovered it almost by accident. And once I did, I realized it really was almost my muse. Like there was something about that time of day that really made a difference to the whole experience of shooting the gardens for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're up early, and the
Yes,
birds are
very
chirping.
early,
I mean,
as you are, I'm
it's such a great
sure.
experience, though, being up that early, and the pictures are just beautiful that you get.
Thank you.
And Stacey, where can we find your book?
The book is available at all kinds of bookstores all over the country. It's available online, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, lots of online booksellers, and all of your local stores.
Now, is there a standout garden that or are they all your babies?
Oh, you know, it's a hard question. All of the gardens are very different. I try to do that deliberately to appeal to people who have, different interests. There are traditional ones that are grand and gorgeous. There are some more organic, smaller ones. And I've also added my own garden this time.
Oh, fantastic. We can find that in the book.
It's in the book as well.
Very good. Stacey, thank you so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you. My pleasure.
All right, and coming up next.